I'd been very unhappy the whole time I was there, but this was something I never told anyone, my husband, my friends.
Astra Woodcraft was becoming disillusioned with the church.
They came out with a new rule. They said, that's it, no more kids.
And she was very upset when she was about 16 or 17 and said they suddenly decided to change the rules and that, you know, Sea Org members were no longer allowed to have children.
If you get pregnant when you're in the Sea Org, you either have to leave or you get an abortion. I know people who have gotten like up to 4 abortions.
I remember thinking, well, wait a minute, I never agreed to this. You know, I'm like 17 years old. I haven't made a decision. I'm not going to have children.
2 years after the policy was established, Astra learned she and her husband were expecting a baby.
A very high-level Sea Org member saw me one day and asked me what I was doing, and I said that I was leaving. And he said, why? And I said, I'm pregnant. And he said, oh, is it too late for an abortion? In like such a callous way, I didn't even know what to say in response. We're talking about a culture where they think that what they're doing is so important that everything else isn't important.
In a San Francisco Chronicle article from 2001, church leaders responded that it has no policy on abortion, leaving the choice up to individual couples. Lawrence remembers the relief he felt when his daughter Astra finally decided to leave the church.
I think that gradually started to seep in on her. Wait a minute, there's more to life than Scientology. That's when she just took off, just got the hell out of that rotten organization. Sorry, it makes me upset to think about it. But.
Soon after Astra left, she divorced her husband, and she says she was disconnected from her family that was still in the church. A few years later, Astra's younger sister left too.
I just realized, I was like, this isn't helping me.
Jenna Miscavige Hill, a niece of David Miscavige, Scientology's leader, says it wasn't until years after her parents left the church that she began to realize she wanted to leave as well.
I don't even have a life. I don't get to enjoy things. Who am I really helping?
Jenna says she and her husband Dallas went back and forth about leaving or staying in the church. In 2005, they finally left for good. But first, Jenna says she was told to sign paperwork promising not to talk about her experiences within the church.
And not to bond, which I didn't sign. I shredded it in front of the lady's face.
Now out of the church, Astra and Jenna and another ex-Sea Org member started their website, EX-Scientologykids.com.
It's just a way for people to share stories and to maybe reconnect with people who they knew before.
Reconnection was the theme of the latest anti-Scientology protest staged by the group Anonymous.
I'm not a member of Anonymous, but you know, they are rallying peaceful protests.
My mom, my grandma, my brother, and I haven't heard from them or seen them in 8 years. And today the protest is about disconnection and reconnections.
Now with her 9-year-old daughter by her side, Astra says she and Jenna are trying to move forward.
If they would just let people who wanted to be there, and if someone wanted to leave, they let them leave. And if someone didn't like what was going on, they let them speak their mind. There'd be no story.
I'm not going to be scared. I'm not going to be intimidated. I'm just going to continue living my life the way I want it to be. I'm not going to let them affect me anymore.
For Nightline, this is Lisa Fletcher in Los Angeles.
And once again, Jenna's parents, the brother and sister-in-law of Scientology's leader, declined our request for an interview. Jenna says that she has a good relationship with her parents now that they have all left the church. When we come back, Scientology responds.
ABC News Nightline, brought to you by IBM.
Nightline, late night on ABC.
For weeks, Nightline repeatedly asked the Church of Scientology for an on-the-record response to our report. Tonight, we received a statement in which the church says it would not comment on what it called Jenna Hill's, quote, dismissal from her Sea Org position. It goes on to say, in part, the church will not discuss matters surrounding Mrs. Hill. She has used her name to make an otherwise ecclesiastical issue into a family matter and a personal attack on a family matter. The church will not relinquish its dignity to engage in such a debate. The church cannot respond directly to Mrs. Hill's allegations without impugning her character, something the church will not do. Every religion has its detractors. There is no faith that can satisfy everyone's spiritual needs, Scientology included. We wish Mrs. Hill well in her search for spiritual fulfillment. For the full statement and for more on this story, go to the Nightline page at abcnews.com. And that's our report for tonight. I'm Terry Moran for Cynthia McFadden, Martin Bashir, and all of us at ABC News. Good night, America.